In a brilliant move by Last Day on Earth, the game has changed at Bunker Alpha. The objective of what used to be floors 1 and 2, but are now floors 2 and 3, is no longer to get the main loot chest at the end of the level. In fact, there is no longer a main loot chest at the end of the level. Rather, Bunker Alpha is now more of a dungeon crawler, with chests everywhere and mobs more evenly spread out. The chests have aluminum wire and other useful things, but the biggest change to Bunker Alpha is that now the best rewards are gained through killing enemies. This changes our strategy completely. Instead of finding ways to avoid enemies, we are now trying to find ways to kill all of them as efficiently as possible. In my opinion, this means that the most important thing that you can know going into the bunker is which enemies you can and cannot sneak up on. When you enter this room, you can sneak up on this fast spider and then kill the other one. After that, reset everything so that you can get 3 solid hits on this frenzy giant with a saw mace. I do not recommend using skull crushers on these giants because your chances of getting hit are much higher, both when you sneak up on him because skull crushers have a smaller range, and when you try to finish him off because it has a slower animation sequence. This shouldn't be too much of a problem though, because now that there are no requirements to get to different levels of the bunker, you should be able to use your blue tape to build saw maces. You cannot sneak up on these guys even if you reset it, so you just have to fight them normally. This part is the same as it used to be. Make sure that you get on the far side of this room so that you can sneak up on both of these guys. Sadly, you can't do that over here. Once you're done with that, sneak up on this guy and kill both of these floater bloaters. One quick note here, if you ever have a giant chasing you and you just need a second to think, you can always use a wall like this to keep him occupied while you decide what you're gonna do next. Here I tried to get fancy by sneaking up on this giant while the other giant was chasing me. I thought maybe I could save myself some trips to the elevator, but it didn't end up saving me any time. Honestly, if you are wanting to save guns, then be prepared to take an excruciating amount of trips to the elevator. If you aren't as concerned about stockpiling guns, then I recommend hitting each of these giants once with a saw mace and then finishing them off with a gun. This will make it to where you use 18% of your gun instead of 25%. You don't have to kill this turret, but it only costs you 15% of a gun, and the chest it is guarding is, in my opinion, definitely worth it. You kill these guys like normal. When you get to these guys, make sure you use a weapon that will one-shot them, otherwise the other one will come and attack you. When you enter this room, stay along the wall here to sneak up on this guy. Now at this point, something really weird happened to where this guy got stuck. I'm not exactly sure what I did to make that happen. Then you go over to these guys who are just a little too close to be able to pick off separately. I recommend going this way and opening the terminal so that you can start working your way from the other direction. It's not a huge deal though, I will say, if you get to this door and the health of the frenzy giant pops up and is never going away, don't open the door. That's what he wants you to do. Okay, so now we're working from this direction. This giant cannot be snuck up on, so you have to decide whether or not you think it's worth it to use 25% of a gun for a red ticket. I don't have time to explain their ticket system in this video, and I'm still gathering more information, but I think it is worth it to use your gun here, because just considering guns and armor alone, each red ticket is worth 9% of a really good gun and 13% of a piece of SWAT gear. I'll explain more in an upcoming video. I feel like going from this direction is quite a bit easier because there's no blood patches or gas emissions between you and the elevator. They moved the 2 toxic abominations that used to be part of this group, which makes it a lot easier. All you do is kill the 4 fast spiders and then reset everything with the elevator. At this point, I recommend killing one of these 2 giants by doing 1 sneak attack and then finishing them off with a gun. There is a way to only use melee weapons on them and not have them hit you, but it's kind of complicated and pretty time consuming, so I didn't bother with it here. I might post a video showing this tactic later if enough of you are interested in seeing it. After you kill one of them, then you can use the elevator trick on the other one. You can also use the elevator trick on this giant, but make sure to really hug this wall tight as you're sneaking up on him. Last but not least, you cannot sneak up on this giant, so he will require another 25% of a gun. Hope that helps, guys. Tomorrow I'll be posting my strategy on the 3rd floor. Also, this week I'm hoping to play live a few times. I'll probably start with doing something pretty basic, like a food run or something. That way I can get used to playing live, so that the next time Last Day on Earth comes out with a bunker update, I can go through it with you guys live.